All right, guys, welcome back to the PeaPod Podcast. We're all here today, and the prodigal son has returned.
Yeah.
Azam has returned.
Hey, what's going on, you guys? All right,
What is wrong with you?
I'm here now. Welcome, hey everyone. Let me look at the script real quick.
What?
He's cheering up right now, guys.
Yeah.
He's very
He's been
excited.
gone for like.
He's happy to be back.
He's been gone for years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been some time.
Yeah, so how's that gunpowder addiction?
Oh, yeah, I didn't really appreciate that too much, but it's getting better. I'm kind of using various coping mechanisms to help me out with that. So, all around it's been a pretty eventful couple of months for me. You know, really. You guys started a podcast without me. That was pretty cool.
I mean, we included you, right?
I mean, I'm here now, so that's all that really matters.
What about Azam? It's Scratch.
Yeah, so we are going to be talking about some topics today. We were supposed to be throughout the weekend, we watched Rise of Skywalker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, boys.
Where do we even start?
What did you guys think of Skywalker, or Rise of Skywalker? You guys want to start?
Does anyone want to start? Anyone have any things off the top of their head?
I would say that it was a rather disappointing movie to the end of our saga, and I feel like one of the I don't know where to start.
Yeah. No.
Like,
That's just my initial thought, but like it's gonna come out.
like now, now that it Skywalker Saga's end, like I don't know if you guys felt it after it, but I feel like there's no reason for any Star Wars thing to continue for some reason. I don't know why, but it just felt like it was the end of everything, But it also didn't feel like the end of everything because it's so lackluster. You know?
It didn't really feel like the end of all Star Wars. It's just more like the end of Skywalker saga.
Yeah, I know.
That's so stupid. I fucking hated the ending. I hated the ending so much.
Wait, hold on. Spoilers.
Yes.
If you haven't watched it, go watch it.
Yeah.
If you don't care,
Keep listening.
keep listening.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Spoiler,
You just said that.
just making sure one last time. Spoiler.
Double check. Triple check.
Quadruple check.
Yeah, the ending for Rise of Skywalker is it ends with Rey basically saying that she's now a Skywalker, and if you guys have watched the movie, you know she is not. She is in fact a Palpatine, which is stupid. Stupid.
Okay, let's before we go deep into the bad stuff, let's talk about what we sort of liked from the movie.
I only liked 2 or 3 things. That's it.
For me, I personally liked Kylo. He's probably the only. He's
He is Skywalker.
He stood out.
100%.
Also every actor and actress gave their all for the performance. Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, and all that.
Fucked over John
But
Boyega.
But Adam Driver, he really goes all out for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a great
I
actor.
can agree to that.
He's a
I feel
great
like
actor.
the acting was pretty spot on. For the most part.
He's the only good actor out of the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Kind of carried the series.
Or
on his
not
back.
good.
Azam, why are you dying here?
No. It's because I'm not used to this. So, okay, whatever. For me, I think Adam Driver's character arc was the only thing really propelling the series forward. He was probably the most developed character and most interesting characters that we've seen, just because of obviously his background being the son of both a Skywalker and a Solo, and I think the narrative definitely should have been more focused on him in the sense, because it was kind of hard to juggle the characters, because at the beginning of the first movie it was John Boyega's character is probably going to be the main character, and then it became Daisy Ridley's character, but there was also an overarching plot with Poe Dameron and then Kylo Ren. It was kind of, as opposed to the original trilogy where they kind of, I guess not necessarily regarding to Return of the Jedi, because that was kind of a more mixed movie, but for the original trilogy, it was kind of the character development was very spread out across the first 2 movies, in my opinion. it was kind of just hard to follow what character you were supposed to care about at what point in the newer movies. So
Right.
that's my take.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just feel like the story was really overall kind of clusterfucked, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like, if anything, making Rey quote unquote Skywalker is pretty stupid. I'll probably get into that later, but I feel like if you're gonna call the movie Rise of Skywalker, maybe somebody who's actually like Skywalker, who has Skywalker blood, you know, should be the person that lives in the end, you know.
Cough,
Like-
Kylo fucking Ren. Cough.
Like
he
throughout the
dies.
movie, it was like, oh, okay, so wait, they're gonna do the thing. They're gonna make Kylo the Rise of Sky. Wait,
No, he's dead.
what? No,
It's so stupid. I mean, yeah.
That was pretty disappointing, to be honest. I guess a couple things I liked were the visuals were beautiful. Always Star Wars movies are
Yeah,
always
100%.
you know,
Yeah,
It's always
Definitely.
beautiful.
The score is
Oh,
always.
the
Yeah.
score.
Score.
100%.
Yeah.
And I guess
big props to John Williams.
John
Yeah.
Williams,
His
as
last one.
always.
That's his last one, right?
Very
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess the third thing that I really liked about this movie was that one, I find it stupid, that stupid fucking force connecting thing where you can like
The Force FaceTime?
yeah, the force
FaceTime.
FaceTime, yeah, basically the
Yeah.
one you can just like fucking
Yeah.
like
Force
fight in
FaceTime.
like a little mixed dimension kind of
Yeah,
shit.
that was
Yeah.
weird.
And like, you can like transfer objects. Like that was stupid.
Yeah.
But they did pay it off at the end with a really
Oh
nice
yes.
Yeah.
That
kind
was-
of
yeah, yeah.
kind
That
of
was
setup
pretty
with the
badass.
Kylo shit. Yeah, Kylo getting Luke's lightsaber. That was dope.
Yeah.
I'm glad he used Luke's lightsaber too.
Yeah.
You
But that's really overall what I liked. And if anything, that part of when Kylo got Luke's lightsaber, it was cool, but it still doesn't explain how the fuck they're connected like that. It doesn't explain how Rey can do this force healing shit. And same thing with Kylo, all of a sudden he's like force healing, he's transferring life force or some shit like that. When did she become so fucking powerful? And remember, this movie took place a year after Last Jedi. So it goes Force Awakens, and then Last Jedi takes place right after Force Awakens, and right after 1 year after Last Jedi is Rise of Skywalker. There's no way she could do all this in a year,
Yeah. Yeah.
She's
even-
calling Leia master and shit like that too. It doesn't make sense. Dude, imagine this. She did what Anakin couldn't do in 1 year. She restored peace to the Force,
Yeah.
That's crazy. How the fuck is that?
It kind of ruins Anakin's whole.
It
chosen
literally
one.
just
Yeah.
it literally just fucking slaps a big fat cock on his
You know,
face.
you know what else? The fact that the entire, kind of idea that Palpatine is still alive ruins everything that Anakin worked for over
Exactly.
the past, the original trilogy and the prequels.
This
It's
movie
just
should have just been called,
wow.
fuck Skywalker,
Like also with the Leia being a quote unquote master is so it's not believable.
It's not.
because
No.
they're I feel like J.J. Abrams had a setup for everything, and I feel like he had a treatment for Rian Johnson to do, and then Rian Johnson just threw it away.
You can tell the only reason they made Leia a master or a Jedi in training was because of the fact that in The Last Jedi she force flew
Yeah.
in space. That was just to cover that whole thing up, and it just didn't fit. You know?
It just felt like this entire episode, this entire episode was just trying to cover up what the Last Jedi did. They're trying to
it's two movies in one. is what
yeah,
you're saying, right?
that's basically what I'm saying. Ryan Johnson kind of threw a wrench in the whole plan,
He did.
and then now J.J. Abrams is trying to pick up the pieces and try to fix up the entire story from there.
Now, okay, okay. As much as we all hate Last Jedi, Last Jedi did have some cool stuff,
Yeah, it
and
did.
it
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
it was ambitious in its experimentation. But Rise of Skywalker is just it's trying so much for nostalgia, so much for originality, so much for
Yeah.
everything. It's really trying to
It's too much.
it's trying to pull at everyone's not heartstrings but interests.
Yeah.
It's trying to please everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't do that though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt like Rise of Skywalker had way too much fan service. I know people were talking about this too on Twitter and shit like that. Especially Ryan Johnson saying oh, too much fan service is gonna ruin the movie. And yeah, he probably shouldn't say that because he fucked up he didn't fuck up Last Jedi. He just he derailed it from where it was going. But yeah, no, I kind of agree with him on this. too much fan service in this entire movie. It was a lot. The whole fucking Leia getting a lightsaber or some shit. I don't remember that at all. All right, I don't remember seeing that before this movie or even being mentioned. No. You know, her becoming a quote unquote master and her completing her training, and Rey becoming so goddamn powerful. Yeah, I guess you could say, oh, she's Palpatine blood. You know,
I have something to say about that.
Yeah,
continue first.
Yeah, she's Palpatine blood. Oh, you know, that's why. You know, she has like quote unquote Sith powers and shit like that too. And the one thing that really pissed me off through this entire movie is they never like stuck to what they decided to do. You know, the whole decision about you know killing Chewbacca but not actually killing him and just showing like revealing like a couple seconds later, oh, he didn't die. You know, like it didn't like last long enough. You know, like the whole, oh fuck, we killed Chewie. You know, maybe like 10 minutes later on, oh, he's alive. No, it was right away. Yeah. Right away after this, like, oh, he was in a different fucking transport. You know, same thing with C-3PO. You know, I was like, oh, that's sad. They really fucked it. You know, fucked him over, and they erased his memory and shit like that. I was like, damn. And they did it kind of weird too because Poe left. He left the room like he didn't care about C-3PO. Okay, and they did it without really giving a shit about C-3PO at all. They're just like, okay, fine, let's just erase his memory. And you know what? His memory came back because R2. You know, they never stick to the big things that, well, not big things, but like the things that you know you should stick to. Yeah. Deaths. You know, erasing memory, which is basically like a death. You know, you're getting reborn. They never stuck to that, and that's really annoying to me. I don't know. It's just it just seems like a really like a really looked over movie, like a fucking looked over movie, and it's just I don't know. It wasn't my favorite. It wasn't my favorite at all, and I probably won't watch this again.
Also, like going on like the C-3PO thing, like rewatching like the rewatching the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy. Everybody treats C-3PO like shit. Yeah. But in like the sequel trilogy, they treat him more like shit because they just like I feel like they just don't really care about him. Yeah. Like
they're not his friends. You know, he's always talking about he's in the movie. I want to take one last look at my friends. They're not his friends. They're not his friends.
Like even though everybody treated him like shit in the first two trilogies, they still were his friend. You know, like in this one, they didn't feel like he was his friend. It just felt like he was just there. Yeah. You know, just for the sake of being there.
Yeah.
This was kind of just like they kind of treated him like junkyard scrap. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
What did you want to say about that?
About Rey being overpowered? Like I don't care if she has both if she has Palpatine blood and Skywalker training. There is no way in any universe that she should be that powerful within 1 year. Right. In the history of all of the Jedi, no one Jedi has ever been that powerful that they were able to train that fast, even if they're blood related. Mm-hmm. You know, Anakin Skywalker and Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker still took a long time to train. Mm-hmm. You know, that's still very powerful blood. It's the Skywalkers, right? Mm-hmm. Even with Palpatine, it's the same concept, just like. And you're just gonna like make her powerful within that small amount of time. It just doesn't make any sense. You're throwing away all of the other movies, like you know, like their story arcs basically. Because you're just saying this can happen within 1 year. Right. You know, and it actually can't. I'm just saying.
I think that's one of the main elements that not only this movie but this new trilogy suffers with in general. The idea that. Because like of the writers switching and the directors switching out.
I was going to be a little louder.
Oh, I'm sorry. This idea that there's so much off-screen development, and I'm fine if Rey becomes this all-powerful character, but the fact that we're just left to kind of imagine her training ourselves without any like actual visuals and story arcs that show us how she's developing as a Force user, it's just kind of hard for like obviously like you know the general audience to believe that you know oh like she can do all this and we should just be like accepting of it when you know as we saw multiple times within the original trilogy and the prequels with like either Anakin or Luke training, like we saw that firsthand. We're just like okay, so we can see that this person has you know potential. But with Rey it's like you know we see like bits and pieces here, but it's like nothing out of the ordinary.
Right, they completely did her training off screen. You know, that's
like,
what makes
even
me
with
mad.
Anakin and Luke, in between each film, you see a progression of their skills. Because you know, I mean, we don't really see them as much. I mean, Luke more so than anyone, I think, but like, we don't see all of their Jedi training. We see bits of it, parts of it, and it's the same case with Rey, but throughout the trilogies, you see them improve in each movie. And this one, you just see her go from apparently pretty good already, who can defeat Kylo in Force Awakens, who has had actual Jedi training, to freaking most powerful Jedi within 1 year. It just doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like there's no development within each movie. You know, it's just that's it.
Like George Lucas, he literally like wrote the whole story. Like when it came to the original trilogy, he wrote the whole story and broke it up into 3 parts because he knew that like it would be cohesive and like you would see like the different stages of the characters.
Yeah.
Same thing with the prequel trilogy. He did that as well. But in the sequel trilogy, like you can like it's just like
You can tell they just did one in it. They just did one separately. You know.
it's like okay, so we finished off here. What do you want to do? Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. The fact that, you know, the games and the TV shows have more progressive stories than the sequel trilogies, yeah, that's saying a lot. I mean, hey, Fallen Order was good.
Yeah.
That was
Good
so
show.
great.
Fallen Order was great.
Story was great. And Mandalorian, we just finished that as well.
Oh.
Super, super good.
Yeah.
Except for Hazem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
But you know
shit,
what?
we can't
It's
tell
okay.
you, huh?
No.
Damn.
That's
We'll record another podcast episode without
that's
us.
fine.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Hey man,
Yeah.
do what you have to do.
Hashtag fire Kathleen
Do
Kennedy.
what you must.
I think another one of the things I'd like to bring up is the fact that on this for this trilogy, on the spectrum of like expectations, I find it really funny how polar opposite The Last Jedi is from Rise of Skywalker in the sense that The Last Jedi, like Rian Johnson's whole thing was, oh, let's just like subvert expectations and let's make the audience be like, whoa, wow, that's funny, wow, that's crazy. Like with the whole Leia knowing how to use the Force, with Rose not letting Finn sacrifice himself, with like
The whole Rose. Sorry, I had to interrupt you here, but the whole Rose and Finn thing is so weird now.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't
they didn't
understand
really
what the
develop
fuck's-
that.
I don't understand what the fuck's going on
It's
now.
just kind of threw it away.
Like,
It-
Finn
it's like
ghosted her.
it's the like awkward phase when you like
Yeah.
you break up with somebody but you still have to be friends because
Yeah.
you're friends with your
It
other
was like
friends.
the awkward phase when you fuck and then
Yeah.
and then the next day you're like, oh shit, do you want to get breakfast?
But yeah, like, and then with the whole Luke Skywalker fighting Kylo Ren, but not really fighting Kylo Ren, like that entire movie was just basically just like, hey, this is what we're doing. Wait, never mind, fuck you. And then and then Rise of Skywalker was like, okay, we're gonna try to do the same thing, except in order for the story to make sense, we're gonna have to revert all these changes. So like bringing back the whole thing about like C-3PO and stuff, just basically like, oh, this could be like, kind of heartbreaking for Star. Nope, R2D2 does have the backup to his memory,
Right.
and it's like, it's really amazing how The Last Jedi manages to be such a negatively critically acclaimed film because of this trying to subvert these expectations. But then Rise of Skywalker is like one of the most predictable movies of all time, in my opinion. It's just like, it does, like, for anyone watching, not even if like you're not even a Star Wars fan, like if you're just a regular person coming into watching like the first Star Wars movie of your life, like if the story is going to make sense in your head, it's gonna go a certain way. Like there's no way that at any point in this movie you should be like surprised or anything like that. That's just my take though.
I feel like I saw a lot of people saying that this movie was great. Like those who I wouldn't say are longtime fans. I'd say like more just kind of jumped on the hype train. Like, I feel like when they said it was a good movie, I didn't want to be like, hey, it was a shit movie or whatever. Kind of like kind of force my opinion on you. But I did ask a couple of them. I was like, why was it such a good movie? They're like, oh, the action was great. The story was great. I was like, oh, geez, here we go again. We got a dumbass over here. Yeah, so I don't know.
I mean, the truth is, it just wasn't that good of a
It
movie.
was a decent action movie, but it wasn't a good Star Wars movie.
Yeah,
And I say this a lot.
Yeah.
I tell this to them all the time. I tell everybody this. It was a decent action movie, but it was not a good Star Wars movie. And I would recommend watching it if you have to watch it because you're such a big Star Wars fan, but I wouldn't recommend it if you're just like, if you have nothing to do and you want to watch a good movie. I would not recommend watching it because there's so many other movies you could watch that probably won't make you mad if you're a longtime Star Wars fans. Like this is, it was. Force Awakens was good. Last Jedi was okay. Rise of Skywalker just kind of just dick slaps you in the face. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like, I don't know if anybody else feels like this, but like after we watching all of the the entire Skywalker like saga, I've noticed that I feel like the Rise of Skywalker doesn't feel like a Star Wars movie like at all. I don't know if it's because I don't remember ever seeing any like those cheesy wipe transitions, but I don't know because like
There were so many wipe transitions in this movie as well.
Was there?
There was a lot. Do you not remember?
I didn't see anything.
I
don't
should've
remember.
I would
seeing
say there was.
anything.
I should have
There's a
counted.
few. I noticed that
There was a
Yeah.
few because I felt like there was a lot of like.
It just
jump
for me, it
cuts.
wasn't very smooth.
It wasn't smooth.
It wasn't smooth transition.
That's why I kind of knew. I was like,
Yeah.
I should have counted.
It
I
just
should have
felt.
counted.
It just felt like it was a movie that was just bad. It just didn't feel like a Star Wars movie.
Yeah,
Like,
it didn't.
Even though the prequels were pretty shit, like they felt like Star Wars to me. You know.
Like
Yeah.
the prequels had like they had like development and
Yeah.
like cool like comprehension like to their stories. Even though it may not like seem like they're good
Not
stories,
the
but like
greatest thing in the world, but
yeah, but like you see the development like throughout.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just this movie could have gone way better. It wasn't enough love and care into this trilogy. At least maybe it started off with a lot of love.
Yeah.
You know.
I
but
feel
then-
like
it's like the dad that's like, I will always be there for you.
yeah.
Then he goes off and gets milk and never comes back.
Like, do you think it'd be any different though if like J.J. Abrams directed all 3 movies as opposed to like just directing the Force Awakens and the Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah. I think it'd be. I mean, definitely it'd be different.
Same thing with Ryan Johnson. If he did that, with Force Awakens first.
Yeah,
honestly,
either way.
either director, if they were just given the full 3 movies, I think honestly, despite how, not terribly great The Last Jedi is, I think all 3 if each director were given the opportunity to direct all 3 movies, I think either one of them could have done an amazing job.
I agree. Like, I feel like they should. JJ should have just left it as it is, and instead of trying to fix The Last Jedi and do 2 movies in 1 movie, he should have just done his best with what he could, and I feel like that would have been a better movie than what we got.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you can tell he was just trying to fix what Ryan Johnson did in the last movie, and it just doesn't feel right.
No, it doesn't.
Because you're, for the most part, just trying to cover up everything that he did, but.
Yeah.
And then try and force your own story into something that really doesn't fit.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like he just should have just let it happen and just let it ride off of that story instead of make 2 movies in 1 and stuff like that. I don't know.
Like, sorry, you want to go? I was just gonna say like I would have been like, I know people really didn't like how they were saying that like Rey wasn't like related to anyone in The Last Jedi, but like. I would have been okay with that just because like she's her own person. She has her own destiny. She doesn't have to like ride off of someone else's backs.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't have to like ride off the back of Skywalker or Palpatine. She could be her own person.
Mm-hmm.
But like in this one, it's just like, oh no, she needs to be related to Palpatine, just for like.
Just because they wanted to show how powerful she is.
Yeah.
How,
And you
quote
can
unquote powerful.
I highly doubt that Palpatine was supposed to be the end goal for
Yeah.
this entire trilogy.
You-
I feel like
you
they just
can tell.
they just slapped it in there. They're like,
Yeah.
fuck, what do we do? God damn it, Ryan. Oh shit. You know what? Palpatine. That's right. We're bringing him back.
He literally fixed everything. He fixed like Rey's force cap powers.
Mm-hmm.
He fixed Snoke because we didn't find out who Snoke was until it's
Yeah.
like.
But there was so much fixing that there wasn't anything progressive.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, of course. This film in its entirety fails to be experimental or progressive in any sense of the imagination.
Yeah.
It just kind of attempts to brush over the disparities between the first and second movie in this trilogy.
Yeah.
Just like the big problem with just like this trilogy alone is like there's nobody to like make sure that like the future like directors or writers are keeping in track with like an original idea. See like I hate to compare like the sequel trilogy with like the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy, but like even though like George Lucas didn't exactly direct all of them, like he still was like there like on set giving actors, writers, directors like all the insight like needed to understand like the story and like to keep it like consistent throughout.
Like
and
a
basic blueprint. Oh, sorry. Yeah. No, I was just saying like just like a blueprint for like the entire series.
Yeah, yeah.
And like
He wasn't really involved in any of the sequels. Was he?
The only person that was allowed, the only person that was like consistent with the sequel trilogy that I hate the most is Kathleen Kennedy, and like, cause you can tell that she has like a lot of input in all these movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so bad, and plus, I was like when I was like watching videos and like reading stuff on like the Rise of Skywalker or just like the sequel trilogy overall, it's just like see, she like takes out directors and puts new ones in like constantly.
Yeah.
Like it was
And
like yeah,
it's ridiculous. You know, like the reason why The Mandalorian did so well is because Jon Favreau did everything.
Yeah.
For the most part, he wrote it, he produced it, and there was everything. He had different directors, yeah, but he was the blueprint, like
Yeah.
George Lucas. The reason why the Skywalker, or not the Skywalker, the sequel trilogy sucks, is because Kathleen Kennedy did it. So all I'm
It's
saying
because Kathleen Kennedy sucks.
is, she sucks, yeah. So all I'm saying is we got to get Jon Favreau as the head of the Star Wars department
Right.
at Disney.
and Dave Filoni.
And Dave Filoni, yeah. Like,
He
come on.
Oh,
he
man.
showran both Clone Wars and Rebels.
Yeah.
And those turned out really great.
Yeah.
Oh man, just the ending of Mandalorian, man. That's the most Star Wars thing you're gonna get
For real.
this year. Okay, that's such a oh my god, that was
Like Mandalorian sticks with story and also like you know, it gives it into like what the fans want also.
yeah. It's not a slow burn or anything like that. Like the first episode might be, but like it picks up the pace. Like it's a new story every single episode, and like not new, but like it's a continuing but different, you know, different adventure, and it's amazing.
Each director like gives it their own flair to
Right,
it. But
yeah.
and it makes it so much better. Like last episode was directed by Taika Waititi, and you could
You
tell,
could tell,
it was
yeah.
directed by Taika Waititi.
Oh my
Like,
god! When the beginning, the intro of the episode 8, we can't
so
talk
funny.
about it with Ozm here.
No.
But the intro for that episode was funny
It's
as
great.
fuck, dude.
And like with the Mandalorian, like Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, they're like on set keeping track of everything.
Yeah.
And just when you watch the series, like you see that like everything progresses, and also like throughout, like it sets up for the next thing, like the next season or the next episode.
Right.
Yeah.
And, okay, so Rotten Tomatoes. I don't usually trust Rotten Tomatoes, but this is the first time I'm going to agree with them. Rotten Tomatoes has given it a 55% for Rise of Skywalker, and that is, well, considered rotten. The audience score, however, is 86%, which is kind of confusing because, well, not confusing, which is shocking to me because this is the first time I really truly like agree with Rotten Tomatoes. Like, I would sometimes say, yeah, you know what, it's a decent. If it was a little bit better, I'd be like, okay, yeah, you know, I wouldn't give it this score. I would just say, like, you know, at the very least a 60. You know, the lowest you can get as for like a certified fresh, I guess you could say on this. But yeah, I agree with Rotten Tomatoes. This is honestly to me just great visuals, but it was below average story. You know,
And I mean, I think we all can agree that
execution was horrible.
Execution was horrible, but like story is the most important part of a film.
Yeah. Dude,
And it just
fucking John Boyega's character, Ray! Poe!
Yeah.
Ray!
John
I gotta tell you something!
Never explains it. Yeah, by the way, come on, guys, just explain the things in the movie and don't tweet about it after the movie.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
tweeted about it
Yeah.
and confirmed
Come
that
on.
that Finn, spoiler, well, if you've gone this far,
Yeah,
you don't
if
really
you've
care,
gone this
but he's force sensitive. What the fuck? It doesn't make sense. Dude, I thought he was gonna say that he loves her or some shit like that, but like, cause it's like that, you know, that little tension, you know, like throughout the movies.
Sexual tension.
All right, chill out there, buddy.
Shut that.
Yeah, but like, oh my god, dude, I'm force sensitive. Oh. Like, you kind of, you knew he was kind of hinting at that, you know, like I have a feeling, you know, it's like, but it's
That
like
was really out of the blue, though.
that was out of the blue, and it's like,
Yeah.
dude,
You know.
you have a feeling, okay? Tell Poe. Why do you need to keep it a secret from Poe? Like, what the fuck, dude? Like,
Yeah,
it just doesn't make
What are you gonna
sense.
make Poe
what's Poe
jealous
gonna
or
do?
something? Like,
Yeah. Like,
Come on.
I mean,
let's go. Sorry.
sorry. I mean, originally, I thought that's what I thought. Sorry, I thought that's where they were going with it. I mean,
Yeah?
with the Force Awakens, like, you know, was it that when we saw John Boyega with a lightsaber?
Yeah.
that
Yes.
was-
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought that's what they were gonna do. I thought they were gonna pull an arc where it was like a stormtrooper becomes a Jedi. I thought that was gonna be pretty badass.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
But they didn't, and like,
It took him 3 movies to finally
Yeah.
come to terms with it, like with what he is. I'm force sensitive. It never says it. Never says it.
Yeah.
Right? We don't even know if it's like if it's true or not. It's confirmed by J.J. Abrams and John Boyega, I believe, on Twitter. But fuck all, they didn't say it in the movies. So
Yeah.
I wanted more of Poe Dameron's backstory with the Spice Runner shit.
yeah, what the fuck is a
Yeah,
spice?
that was
What is
so-
what is spice? What is a spice runner? What is it? What is that?
It's well, I think spice in the Star Wars universe is essentially just like
Drugs.
Yeah, it's
contraband.
yeah, it's
it's
just drugs,
it's
yeah.
just drugs. It's like
Okay.
illegal
I
products.
figured, but I mean, I would like some more,
Yeah.
details
I
into,
think-
into what
I
that
think
was.
they-
A spin-off series would be nice.
I think they briefly
yeah.
touched on that.
Darth
on
Revan.
Solo.
They might. They know. You know what? They might have.
Because I'm
They
pretty
might
sure
have.
Han was like a. I don't think he was a spice runner, but he was associated with spice runners.
Yeah.
In that movie.
Yeah, like
Wasn't
don't.
it-
So
Didn't they say like Kessel's a spice mine or something like that?
yeah,
Something like
that.
that. I remember
Yeah.
they've mentioned it before, but like, I would be okay with watching even if it's just one season, like a Disney Plus show of Poe Dameron as a spice runner. Like,
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that.
Like
I mean, he's
maybe-
probably not gonna do it.
Maybe even like a young
Yeah.
Poe Dameron.
Maybe
That'd be
it's fine. I'd be fine with that.
Like,
Like,
I don't need a casting Andor series.
no, not really. No, I really don't. Like the least interesting character in Rogue One is getting a spin-off series thing.
Yeah, exactly. don't know
I
how
would
feel
have
about
rather
that.
had freaking Ip Man, freaking what's Donnie Yen's character?
Donnie Yen, yeah.
Like what?
Oh,
Chirrut
that'd be
or whatever?
cool. That'd be
Like,
cool.
I am one with the Force, and the Force is with me.
Like yeah, like the only.
Did you rip? Did you just rip ass?
Yeah, I ripped that.
Oh my god!
Okay.
Oh god!
But like
Yeah,
the
you're
only-
welcome.
The only good characters in the sequel trilogy are Poe and Kylo because you see the development.
Dude, don't laugh at me, bro. You're sitting right next to me.
Ganil stunk.
Oh
up the room.
my god!
Ganil stunk up the room. Good thing you're sitting over here.
Off the grid.
Yeah, that's how you clear out a room.
What the fuck is wrong with you? You have no mercy. God.
God.
Is this what usually happens on the podcast?
No, dude. Usually he's self-contained at least,
Okay.
but he just.
No, just wanted to rip ass today.
Oh my
What's
god!
wrong with that?
What's wrong with you?
That's a normal part of the human being.
We're not cutting that out, by the
No,
way.
we're not
cutting that out.
No.
We're keeping it in.
Yeah, I
You-
ripped
you guys
ass
are lucky.
and I'm
You guys,
proud.
you guys are lucky. You guys can't smell this through the goddamn earbuds. Oh my
What if you
god!
could smell through earbuds?
Smell-o-vision.
Smell-o-vision. Do you know Disney has smell-o-vision?
What?
Yeah, they do. So like.
No, they don't.
No. Because like for each park they kind of like.
Oh, no,
yeah.
I know what you're talking.
Yeah,
No, I know
like
what
they
you're talking.
like they have like like a smell thing. I don't know exactly the science behind it, but like they have a quote unquote smell-o-vision where like they shoot out like distinct smells in like different parks and all that.
That was
You
the,
can search it up.
that was the smoothest transition
Oh,
I've
yeah.
ever seen in my life, JP.
Yeah. Speaking of Disneyland, the Galaxy's Edge.
Oh yeah,
I was gonna go.
I want to go. Does anyone want to go?
I do.
What's
Let's go.
Galaxy's Edge?
Yeah.
It's the Disney theme park.
Yeah. At
Disneyland
Florida.
and Disney World.
And
Oh
both,
yeah.
they're both.
Okay.
It's cool.
Yeah, they have a Han Solo or like a Millennium Falcon ride,
Yeah.
and you
Rise
can
of the
build a lightsaber-
Resistance is
yeah.
only in Disney World though.
Oh, well then we gotta go to Disney World.
Man, fuck that. It's too expensive, dog.
Dude, I would pay whatever to fly the fucking Millennium Falcon and to get a lightsaber. That's it. That's all I care about.
Careful what you say there, buddy.
I want to build a lightsaber and fly the Millennium Falcon.
I'd just be fine just going
That's
to
it.
Hollywood Studios alone.
Yeah.
Hollywood Studios like has so much to do.
It's my favorite park.
Yeah.
It's my favorite park
Yeah.
because I have a favorite park.
All right. Well, you know what? I think we've about wrapped up.
Want me to rip ass again?
Please don't.
Okay.
It's not a good outro. But
I thought it was a pretty good outro. Whatever.
Yeah, but let's end this off. This was a good episode of just talking and kind of ranting about it. You know, by the time this episode comes out, I'm actually not sure when this episode is going to come out. But whenever this episode comes out, I can't speak. This will obviously be a lot further than when the movie came out. So just keep that in mind. Yeah. But any last words, boys?
No. You want me to plug our stuff?
Yes, please
first, or
plug
do you
them.
want to do that first? No, never mind that.
Nah.
Okay. So yeah.
Can I say one more comment?
What do you want to say, JP?
The Rise of Skywalker honestly broke my heart. That's all.
Yeah.
It honestly broke my heart.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
No, yeah, but if you want to ask us questions or just get in contact with us, you can do so on our Twitter and our Instagram. At the Hero Network is with underscores in between for Instagram, and Twitter is at the Hero Network with an underscore at the end. We also have a Patreon, so if you want to help support us there, you can go visit us. It's at the Hero Network. And if you're listening to this on a platform that is not YouTube, we are on YouTube. Surprise, surprise. Which is youtube.com/The Hero Network. And yeah, that's about it. I think, right?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. All right.
Now we're cutting that out.
Yeah, I know.
I could just cut it out.
No. We're gonna acknowledge the fact that you have a Baby Yoda toy.
Wait,
it's not
it's not
Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
It's a Yoda toy.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, by the way.
Yeah,
It's
Kenny
from him.
got me talking Yoda for Christmas, and I'm thankful. Thank you.
Shut the fuck up. All right.
Goodbye.
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 What the fuck?